Coming up, flooded water surrounds SU's Boathouse after heavy rain, how it's impacting SU's rowing team.
Plus, an update on mask guidance. We sit down with Vice Chancellor Haynie to find out why falling campus COVID numbers have not led to a change.
And another late-night crime on Euclid Ave, a person attacked by a group of teenagers. We have the latest on SPD's investigation into Saturday night's incident. Citrus TV News Live at 6 starts right now.
Now, Citrus TV News Live at 6 starts with breaking news.
Flooded waters are surrounding Syracuse University's Boathouse. Good evening, I'm Walker Simmons.
And I'm Louise. Rath. A flood warning remains in effect following last week's nor'easter, and the National Weather Service says it will remain in effect for several days.
New at 6, our Tyler O'Neill joins us now with more on the flooding. Tyler.
Thanks, guys. I'm here at Syracuse University. Last week's rain has caused flooding. You are still on the Onondaga Lake.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. As Tyler was saying, instead of practicing on the Onondaga Lake because of the wake, coaches are now can damage the property along the river. A Syracuse athletic spokesperson said last time it flooded, it was as bad as 2 years ago. No one is in danger, and the National Weather Service has issued a flood warning for Onondaga Lake, as well as other lakes and rivers in central New York. Trails and parking lots are flooded, and the use of marine has also been impacted. All of the eastbound lanes of State Route 298 and Cicero are closed.
And a Syracuse local says he is concerned about driving in the area.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
I just have to be careful about where I'm driving because sometimes the water's really high across the highways, and just got to be aware day to day.
And the Weather Service says that Onondaga Lake is 0.6 feet over the flood stage, meaning that the water level in the lake is 0.6 over the maximum capacity the lake can hold before it starts flooding. And last week's nor'easter dumped over 3 inches of rain in central New York that caused an increase in ground level saturation, making the area more susceptible to flooding. And since the ground was already saturated, Friday's rain had nowhere else to go, and that's why we're seeing this flooding. The Weather Service recommends that motorists do not attempt to go around barricades or through the flooded areas. And the water levels are not expected to go down for a few days, and the flood warning will remain in effect until the water levels go down. And we'll continue to have coverage of this lake flooding as the story develops.
Yeah, well, speaking of all this rain, I mean, will it come to an end? That's the big question.
I do
and
hope so.
Hopefully with an answer to this big question is our Lindsay Fine. She's here in studio. Lindsay, what do you got for us?
So right now it's actually not raining, but there is a river flood warning, as you just talked about, in place in Onondaga County. The advisory affecting Syracuse is for Onondaga Lake at Liverpool. There are 2 other lakes in central New York with flood advisories in place. The flooding in Syracuse peaked this morning with water getting 0.7 feet above the flood stage. The National Weather Service is classifying this as minor flooding. The warning is in effect until this Wednesday at 10:30. But looking into right now here in Syracuse, you can see 48 degrees and partly cloudy with 10-mile-per-hour winds. So really temperate for this time of year. If you're going out, those winds are kind of high. So maybe grab that windbreaker and a nice sweatshirt. You shouldn't be too cold. And looking into tonight, it will drop quite a bit to 42 degrees, and the winds will also go down to 47-mile-per-hour winds. And it will be partly cloudy. If there's a night to kind of keep those windows open, it would be tonight. There's going to be no chance of rain. And I'm just really looking forward to the night and the weather. Guys, back to you.
Oof, Lindsay, 42 degrees. Well, hey, now with the latest in COVID-19 numbers on SU's campus, cases continue their downward trend. There are currently 13 active COVID-19 cases on campus. This is a decrease of 5 cases since yesterday, and this includes 2 new student cases as well as 2 new employee cases. The positivity rate is currently at 0.4%.
And as cases continue to fall, many students are wondering why the university remains in a state of code red. Today, Citrus TV's John Perik addressed the topic with SU Vice Chancellor J. Michael Haynie. And John is joining us now in studio with more on Haynie's response to low case count. John, what was Haynie's message for students?
Good evening, Louise. Pride. That's the word Vice Chancellor Haynie used to describe how students have handled the virus since the beginning of the semester. Now, throughout the past year, SU has asked its students to do their part, and today, Haynie said that they've done just that. But according to the Vice Chancellor, that's only one half of the equation.
The challenge right now is that, as per the CDC, Onondaga County is still a high transmission rate geography.
And many students on campus are tired with the current mask-wearing restrictions, a feeling that Vice Chancellor Haynie says he's familiar with.
I will tell you that there's few people on this campus more anxious to be rid of masks than me.
Now, last Monday, County Executive Ryan McMahon told us that he recommends SU waits until after Thanksgiving to reevaluate the masking status on campus. Today, we asked Haynie whether that will be the case, and he responded saying SU will continue to make decisions that are in the best interest of our students, faculty, and staff here at Syracuse University, while still acknowledging that we are situated in larger central New York community. And we will have more on Haynie's response to Syracuse University's current masking status as the week goes on. And you can find the full interview with Vice Chancellor Haynie on CitrusTV.com. Guys, back to you.
John, thank you. The Barnes Center is extending their flu shot clinic to faculty, students, and staff, and they'll now have access until Wednesday, November 3rd to get their shot at the Barnes Center. And the last clinic was supposed to be on Friday, October 29th.
SU is requiring students to get the shot before the spring semester begins. The clinic will open tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Wednesday from 9 a.m. to noon.
And COVID-19 testing is back at the New York State Fairgrounds. Starting today, Upstate Medical University is responsible for operations at the site. Tests will be offered Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. The drive-through option that was once offered will no longer be available. And Onondaga County is expanding its operation hours at vaccination clinics across the county. County Executive Ryan McMahon made the announcement yesterday, saying this was done to give individuals aged 18 and older more opportunities to get the booster shot. A spokesperson for McMahon said that the clinics will serve any county resident aged 12 and older.
And SU's Orange Central is officially in the books. The weekend was highlighted by class reunions and alumni awards, along with other events. President of Pixar Animation Studios, Jim Morris, and former NASA astronaut Aline Collins also made an appearance on campus.
And despite all of these activities, attendance was down compared to the last Orange Central. A university official told Citrus TV over 1,400 people pre-registered for Orange Central this year, and that's a decrease of about 1,000 people compared to the record-setting Orange Central back in 2019. And now, new details on an assault that took place right next to an SU dorm over the weekend. It's the latest in a series of shootings and attacks near campus this semester. Citrus TV's Jake Morel joins us now with more on how this is raising concerns for students. Jake?
Thanks, Louise. I'm here at the corner of Euclid and Ostrom Avenue, where SU's Department of Public Safety is investigating an assault that took place early Sunday morning around 3 a.m. All of the individuals involved in the incident are not affiliated with the university, and there are no suspects in custody. According to the DPS report, one individual was attacked by a group of young teenagers, again, none affiliated with the university. According to the individual who was attacked, one of the young teenagers displayed a small black handgun during the incident. This comes after a series of violent incidents that have happened in the area over the past month. Today, I spoke with students on Euclid Avenue about safety, and some are concerned about the area based on these incidents.
I've definitely been on like hyper security measures, hyper safety measures of sticking with more people, or making sure my doors are locked, just kind of making like looking around me when I'm walking, especially alone.
Other students say that they aren't too concerned about the neighborhood during the day, but they do get concerned about it at night.
I think walking around at night is usually I definitely feel a little bit more concerned about that, but especially on the weekends when everybody's out and about, that seems to be when there's the most incidents.
CPS has not expanded on the incident since the 2 emails sent early Sunday morning. But one message is clear. Students are concerned about their safety. Reporting live from the corner of Ostrom and Euclid for Citrus TV News, I'm Jake Morel. Louise, Walker, back to you guys.
Thanks, Jake. The latest on a fire in the city's Eastwood neighborhood. Everyone is safe after a home caught fire yesterday morning. Firefighters responded to a call regarding smoke coming from the first floor of the house. Officials say the fire was put out in less than 10 minutes. An investigation is underway regarding the origin of the fire.
And Central New York's congressional representative is fighting the state's new bail reform law. Representative John Caco's new bill potentially allocates up to $10 million to states who direct judges to consider the danger of releasing a repeat offender before trial.
And that money could be used to hire more police officers or improve relations between officers and communities. As of now, the bill has been backed by the National Association of Police Organizations, among other groups.
And coming up after the break, I'll have everything you need to know about elections tomorrow.
And CNY is exiting one of the wettest months of the record. What this means for the start of winter season when we come back.
Are you superheroes?
Just four brothers who hate bullies and love this city. Gear up, guys.
What are you?
You're watching Citrus TV News with Walker Simmons, Louise Rath, Lindsay Fine, and Teagan Brown. Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. We are less than a day away from when the polls will open in this year's election. Syracuse Mayor Ben Walsh is spending over $200,000 in his re-election campaign.
And Democratic candidate Khalid Bey has seen a surge in donations. And Walsh has more than 10 times in campaign money than Bey, but Republican Janet Berman has only raised $1,000 thus far.
Onondaga County residents took to the polls this past week for early voting. Close to 10,000 voters went to polling sites around the county, leading up to Election Day.
The Onondaga County Board of Elections says that around 3% of eligible voters voted early, and an additional 5,000 individuals submitted absentee ballots. And the 2021 early voter activity beat out last local election here in Onondaga County.
Tuesday, November 2nd is Election Day, and registered voters will be able to cast their votes in multiple races. Here in the city of Syracuse, the mayoral race is one of the forefronts of people's minds. Our reporter Teagan Brown spoke with students about their knowledge on elections taking place as well as what they want to see done. Teagan?
Thank you, Walker. Yes, Election Day is almost upon us, but this year is not the year that we're putting a new president into office. No, this year is all about local elections. The Syracuse mayor race, common council, county legislators, judges, as well as local elections in towns and villages like Manlius and Solvay. Now, while many members of the community have been keeping up with debates as well as the campaigns of each of these candidates, when I spoke to Syracuse University students today, it seemed that many of them just didn't know as much about the elections this year. They told me that they just were not as informed, or that they just weren't as interested as they were in bigger elections. But one student I spoke with specifically talked about what he wanted to see done by the next mayor of Syracuse, no matter who wins tomorrow.
The next mayor of Syracuse, I hope that they're able to address the poverty levels. I know we've been learning that Syracuse is a top 10 poorest city in the U.S. and a large portion of it is in poverty. So I hope whoever is elected is just able to address that and make the city, more livable and more breathable for those in need.
31.3% of people in the city of Syracuse live in poverty, and specifically 44% of children live in poverty as well. Syracuse is even one of the top 10 poorest cities in the country. Now, if you're registered to vote in the city of Syracuse and you want to go put in your ballot tomorrow, you can find your local polling place online, and polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Reporting live from City Hall for Citrus TV News, I'm Teagan Brown. Guys, back to you.
Teagan, thank you. And Talking Points will be having an election special tomorrow night at 11:30 p.m. And we'll be breaking down all the candidates, both in and around Onondaga County. And this election has a special meaning for an upstate high school student who is battling cancer. Luke Radel is receiving treatment for a curable form of Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Radel says he wants to attend Syracuse, but right now he's focused on raising money to fight the disease. That includes through his election Eve show, which just premiered on YouTube.
None of the money goes to me. It's going to help the kids and their families who are stuck in the hospital, who can't be out there asking politicians tough questions or being on Citrus TV. It's going to help them.
Coming up, your 5-day forecast. What you need to know going to the first week of November in just 90 seconds.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back. This October was the warmest on record. The average temperature was 59 degrees, which beats the previous record of 58 degrees in 2007. The average of all high and low temperatures was 7.7 degrees above normal. This was also the third wettest October for Syracuse. The city saw 7.4 inches of rain last month. But looking into the start of September, you can see the 5-day forecast here behind me. Tomorrow, we have partly cloudy at 50 degrees, and it'll cool down in the middle of the week and pick back up to 53. Nothing really varying throughout the week. We will see some rain on Wednesday, and then again, it'll cool down for those few days and come back up. We are seeing lows in the 30 across the week for the first time since you've seen me doing weather. So those weathers are definitely cooling down, and I think we've seen our last 70 until spring. And looking into tomorrow, you'll see when you wake up, 42 degrees, and then it'll warm up to 48 degrees at 3 p.m. and then cool back down at 6 p.m. to 44 degrees. There is a low chance of rain all day, which is really great because we've been seeing a lot of rain, so I'm happy that's gone. And the sun will be setting at 5:55 p.m., so that is only getting earlier as we get into the week. That's all I have for you right now on weather. Jesse, what's going on in sports?
Lindsay. Well, Syracuse welcomed some birds from Beantown into the Carrier Dome on Saturday. I'll tell you how that went. And the Jets also lined up against the Jungle with a man at the helm with 0 starts. We've got all that and more after the break.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly,
disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent. We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah. Hey Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
A Boston College squad without its consistent starting quarterback fluttered into the walls of the Salt City Stadium. Welcome to sports. I'm Jesse Cook. It's the Orange trying to make some noise in the ACC, and the Eagles trying to prove they can win with anyone under center. We'll get you started here. Syracuse in the second half, after going down 6-0 in the first. Who else? You know his name. He's the illustrator of Irving Avenue, Sean Tucker, off to the races for 51 yards to put the Orange ahead. And Garrett Schrader says, Sean, you're pretty great, but let me try. He books it for 48 and a score. You know, I saw Schrader in the Ernie Davis Dining Hall just the day before. I gave him a fist bump and said, hey, big dub tomorrow? He said, you know it. Garrett Schrader fulfilling his promise to me and the rest of Syracuse. And then here, punt returner Trevor Pena out of commission? No problem. Courtney Jackson goes as Matt Damon for Halloween and asks BC, hey, do you like apples? He jukes, he jabs, he just keeps going all the way through to the end zone. How do you like them apples? Or maybe, how do you like them oranges? Either way, SU goes up big. That brings the Orange to a winning record of 5-4. They win 2 games in 2 weeks and take their second ACC victory. One more win and they're eligible for a bowl game. The Qs take the win, and Sean Tucker gets the biggest bag of candy he's ever hauled. Give him a career-high 207 yards on the ground, a TD, and another week where I say he deserves the Heisman more than anyone. The illustrator of Irving Avenue wasn't the only one leading teams to huge wins on the Hill. Afka Van den Nieuwenhof put up a pair of goals and an assist for SU field hockey as they toppled Cornell 6-0. Syracuse is number 9 in the nation, and they end their regular season with a relieving dub. After dropping 2 in a row to top-ranked opponents, they'll gratefully take the gimme win. They match up with Duke on Thursday for the ACC tournament. As field hockey snapped their struggles, volleyball wasn't so fortunate. Apologies in advance to Citrus TV volleyball beat reporter Annie Claff, but this one was heartbreaking. The Orange dropped the first 2 sets to Florida State yesterday, led by incredible performances from Polina Shamanova and Elena Karakasi. They battled back, winning the 3rd and 4th sets to tie it up. Knotted up at 11-11 in the 5th set, the Seminoles ran away with it, spiking down 4 straight points for the 5-set win. The Cuse has dropped 7 of its last 8. Now, let's go on a safari. Despite staying home, the Jets spent 60 minutes clawing through the jungle. And As they battled the Bengals, you might be wondering, who they think they're going to beat them Bengals? Well, the answer is Mike White and the JETS Jets. After trailing by 2 scores, the green and white came back and won on a late touchdown, followed by a 2-point conversion, caught by none other than the QB, White. That was his first NFL start, and he's just the second player ever to throw for more than 400 yards in his starting debut. The first was Cam Newton against the Cardinals in 2011. White threw for 405 yards, just shy of Newton's 422. But what did White do better? He actually won his ball game. Newton lost by a TD to a mediocre team, while Mike White tore apart a top 5 secondary. New York heads out to Indianapolis on Thursday night.
All right, Jesse Cook, we got one question for you. World Series, who do you got?
Look, I don't like the Astros, but something tells me after that win last night that they're going to head out back home to Houston, and somehow Zach Greinke, the pitcher, is going to find a bat in his hands and do what he does best, surprise everyone. And in Game 7, Zach Greinke, pitcher for the Astros, is going to hit the 3rd walk-off home run to win a World Series in history.
Hey, there we go. That's a take. Well, hey, when we come back, one last look at your weather.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
OTN is on all your favorite apps: Apple TV, Fire TV, and Roku. Search Orange Television Network or OTN. OTN has its best shows, short films, and Citrus TV on demand. Family and friends can watch OTN too. Watch the live stream of OTN to catch live Citrus TV news, live from Studio B, and mornings on the Hill. On or off campus, watch OTN anywhere.
And welcome back. Let's take a look at your wake-up weather. When you wake up, it'll be 42 degrees with 8-mile-per-hour winds and 76% humidity. The humidity is nothing too crazy, but if you feel a little bit sticky, that's probably why. The winds are 8 miles per hour, so you'll definitely feel that nice breeze. If you're heading out, maybe grab a windbreaker. Definitely no rain jacket or anything. We're not expecting any rain tomorrow, which I know I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, that'll be nice. 42, maybe not as nice. But hey, the Oxford Dictionary has chosen the 2021 word of the year, and the word is vax, the winner. In a statement, vax was rarely used until this year, and now it's used every day.
And Oxford justified this choice by saying the talk of vaccinations happens around the world, and this comes as the dictionary did not choose a word of the year in 2020.
Interesting. I really thought it would have been Zoom, personally. If I had to say a word,
That would have been
I use that a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, when it comes to vaccinations, I mean, we have booster shots. I mean, it is becoming a word.
Booster shots, flu shots.
Flu shots, yeah. I mean, vaccinations. I really, if you told me a year ago I'd be saying vax more than I say any other word this year, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah, well, hey, special shout out to our executive, Nicole Aponte. Yesterday was her birthday, so wanted to give a quick shout out to her there.
Yeah, she's 20 years old. Hey, so happy birthday, Nicole, from all of us here at Citrus TV. That's all the time we have for you today on Citrus TV News.
And for more of the latest, follow us at Citrus TV News on Twitter or check out our website at citrustv.com.
For all of us at Citrus TV News, I'm Walker Simmons.
And I'm Louise Rath. Have a great night, Syracuse.